Today, I want to talk about options. So what are the different pathways that you can go down or the options that you have available to you when you're looking at doing a renovation or extension here in Brisbane? Now, in super duper simple terms, most of the time when it comes to a renovation extension, you have three different options, or like I said, pathways that you can go down. The first is to design to avoid a DA. So that's basically to confine the scope of work or reduce the scope of work to stay within the bounds of the exemptions. Now, that is obviously everyone's first preference because you save money, you save time, and you have certainty over the outcome. So you basically bypass town planning and go straight to the building certifier for the building approval process. Now, option number two is to step outside the bounds of those exemptions, but to generally align with council's intention. So don't go too far out of the box. So if we're talking TBC, traditional building character overlay, what you need to do is ensure that you're using pitched roof forms, lightweight materials, verandas on the front, recessed garages. Try and tick those usual sort of boxes. Now, when it comes to those applications, you can go one extreme, which is RiskSMART, aka fast track. You're probably looking at about 4 weeks in council at the moment for those sort of applications. The other extreme is normal to house and homes or team type application, and you're looking at maybe 2 or 3 months in council at the moment. So yeah, the option two pathway, within that option two, you've got option A and option B, and you're looking at a difference of about a month to about 3 months there. Now, the final pathway that you can go down is kind of to really push the boundaries, the limits, apply for what you ultimately want, knowing that you're probably going to have to negotiate back from there. So it's kind of the pathway you go down if you want to spend a bit more time trying and you're focused on the design, your priorities are less about time, less about money, all of that sort of stuff. And you're like, I just don't want to be sitting there down the track going, what if? What if I'd actually asked for this? Or what if I'd pushed for that sort of thing? So yeah, that's the pathway you go down if you want to push the limits a little bit more. Now, with that option, you're probably talking about 4, maybe 5 months in council, depending on how hard you want to fight. Now, in the old days, the good old days, back probably about 10, 11 years ago when I started my business, makes me feel very old when I say that, yes. But basically at that point in time, the industry was all about option one. Like everyone was designing to avoid a DA. If you had a look at our website at that point in time, it was all about helping you design to avoid a DA because that is a pathway everyone wants to try and go down. And I can understand it. Back then, the value equation was totally different. Like back then, good old days, $500,000, oh, they got you a lot of renovation. You got a lot of house for that. So yeah, if you could avoid a $5-6 grand town planning application, you wanted to do that. These days, a base level renovation's like $1.5 million. Like it's ridiculous. We always joke you don't get anything for under $1 million except a carport these days. So yeah, as a result, the town planning costs, the value equation, it's a little bit different. And we find people are sort of sitting there just going, well, if I'm going to spend $1.5 million, I want what I want. Like I don't want to be cutting corners, compromising on the design, compromising on the aesthetics, the looks, the practicality, all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, these days we're finding everyone is kind of in the option two and bordering on option three more and more often. But at the end of the day, the moral of the story and the main message I want to get across today is you have options. And if you ask questions early enough, so if you go to a town planner at the very beginning before you start the design process and just ask what the options are, then you can choose your own adventure. So you as the client, the designer, whoever can sit there and go, okay, in this instance, my number one priority is time, money, design, whatever it is. And therefore, I'm knowingly going to go down option 1, 2, 3, whichever path you want to go down. Whereas if you get us involved at the end, more often than not, you're looking at an option 3, people are emotionally connected to it. They don't want to make the compromises and the changes to lower the application type. And yeah, it's just a lot more painful. People don't like being forced to go down the option 3 path. They like choosing to go down the option 3 path early on. So yeah, like I said, moral of the story is ask questions early. Okay, I think that covers off everything I want to talk about today. As I always like to say, until next time, thanks for watching.
For all you red tape lovers out there, I have one thing to say. Well, no, actually, I've got 3. Number 1, the advice provided in these videos is general in nature. It's not site-specific. You would be a silly Billy to go and make financial decisions based on this advice without first checking with the town planner. Don't be a silly Billy. Number 2, Brisbane town planning is in no way linked to Brisbane City Council. The views expressed in these videos are my own, not council's. So if you don't like them, blame me, not council. Number 3, what was my number 3? Oh yeah, the views expressed in these videos are accurate at the time of recording. If you're watching this video back 10 years from now, the views may not be so accurate. That's all. Bye.